in different locations. And coming to the number of nucleotides present in particular segment, D1 region has 11 and D2 16. The number of nucleotides are common, like has the similarity in the human and mice, almost same except the D2 region. And coming to the TREX size, the TREX may be D beta 1, J beta 1 or D beta 2, J beta 1.2, D beta 2, J beta 2.1. They are the possible TREX, and the TREX size also we are able to find using the NCBI. And coming to the thymic extraction and DNA isolation. The thymus we were getting from our collaborative research team from Gutenberg University. It was available. They were providing thymus in liquid nitrogen. And for thymic extraction and DNA isolation, for DNA isolation we have followed a kit, All-Prep DNA RNA coagens kit. So we followed exactly the suggestions and guidelines of the kit. So it suggested us to not to take the tissue weight more than 30 mg. That's why we have not taken the thymus more than 30 mg. And these are the genotype of mice. And the DNA and RNAs which we extracted. And the purity shows it's around 1.8 shows the DNA is pure, and 2 shows the RNA is pure. And there is a DNA concentration. Among all these, we have taken 648 because it has given good concentration. Since the beta TREC levels are low, we have taken this one for our work. And coming to the primers, these primers again we designed from the NCBI using the NCBI. We got the sequence, and the software what we used is Primer 3 Plus software. And here we have taken one thing into consideration, annealing temperatures, because the primers what we are using for the genomic DNA amplification, the same primers we are going to use for the TREX identification. So that's why we have taken the same annealing temperatures, and they are the forward and reverse primers for DB region, JB1 region, DB2 and JB2. And I was looking specifically for the DB1 and JB1 region, and my colleague Hala is taking care from DB2 to JB2. And these are the expected product sizes. And this one we have shown in the results part. This one we could amplify, and we repeated, we got the better result. That I will show in the results part. And coming to the primer designing, here comes the tricky part, because we can design the primers for the genomic DNA and normally for the circular DNA. But if you want to design a primer which have to amplify only circular DNA and not genomic DNA if the same genome also present. So in order to design primers, we have followed a trick from the Dayan et al. Paper. So these two forward and reverse primers can amplify this region, and these two forward and reverse primers can amplify JB1 region. So this is the TREC region. If it is excises, it forms the TREC region. If you use the normal forward and reverse primer here, it amplifies the genomic region as well as the circular gene, but it gives the false results. We want only circular region. So what we have done is, we have taken a reverse primer from this and forward primer from this and used for the TREX. Once it is formed, this will come here, and this forward primer come here and amplifies. So we can achieve the only TREC region, not the genomic region. Although it binds at the genomic region, it won't amplify and we won't get any band. And we proceeded like that. And coming to the results part, we have done the techniques PCR, gradient PCR and qPCR. Our main intention is to perform nested PCR, because since the beta TREC levels are low, so we have to perform a nested PCR. So in order to perform nested PCR, in nested PCR the principle is the already amplified DNA fragment is taken and again amplified using the second set of primers. So to get the DNA product, we have run PCR, and I specifically run for the amplification of D beta 1, J beta 1, and as well as also for D beta 1 and J beta 1 TREC. And the in all the cases, like PCR, gradient PCR and qPCR, the positive control what we have taken is air cDNA. As a plasmid we have taken as positive control, and it has a molecular weight of 657, and the ladder is 100 base pairs ladder, and this band shows the amplification of D beta 1 region. Its molecular weight is 197 base pairs, and we could find the band here, and there is no band in non-template control, and we were unable to amplify TREX region. So in the future we are still working on this. And coming to gradient PCR. Gradient PCR is performed in order to optimize annealing temperatures of primers. The primers, what the manufacturer of our primers are Cybergene. It's a Swedish company. So they have given the COA certificate of analysis, which includes the melting temperatures. But in order to again further confirm, we have run the gradient PCR and optimized annealing temperatures. This piece we have run for the D beta 1, J beta 1, and as well as for the TREX region also. But what I am showing here is for the D beta 1 and J beta 1 regions. This first all this will shows for the D beta 1, and this one shows for the D beta 1 region. So here you can find two bands there of D beta 1 at 58 and 60 degrees centigrade. Although there is slight temperature, annealing temperature change, we could amplify, and to check the efficiency we have repeated and we got the thing, and there is no band in the non-template control. And coming to the qPCR, this qPCRs we have performed just for 2 times, and the main motto behind this PCR is we wanted to check whether the D beta 1 primers are showing whether can we use the same PCR primers in the qPCR. So we used the D beta 1 primers for the amplification, and we could find we got very good result. And here also cDNA as the plasmid control, and the primers are different. Here for qPCR the primers are 7F8R qPCR primers, and the results, this is the amplification plot and standard curve and dissociation. Here all the triplicates have amplified at the same cycle. This is the threshold value, and it shows that there is no contamination, dissociation curve, and we got the standard curve also, which shows that our concentrations are sufficient enough to perform the qPCR. And coming to the conclusion and hypothesis, our main objective was to study inflammatory bowel disease by quantifying beta TREX. So far in this project, we were able to design the primers for all regions, genomic regions as well as the TREC regions, and we designed the primers, and we amplified and optimized primers for the D beta 1 region. They are working fine in PCR as well as in qPCR. We still need to do optimization protocols, and we have to run a few of the PCR and qPCR in order to amplify all other regions. So once we get the we are in a position to amplify beta TREC regions, we can compare the results with healthy and sick mice in order to study IBD. This project, the beta TREC quantification, is not only useful to study IBD. Using the beta TRECs, we also can study the other diseases, idiopathic diseases, which are involved in the T cell competence and idiopathic T cell deficiencies. That's why this project has more significance.